Ooh, it's spooky season.
Do you ever watch those videos where it's like someone does a really terrible like smoky voice? Like, hello and welcome to What's the Safeword? Roll the opening. Hello and happy spooky season, everyone. Actually, we're not very. Can you just do a little clap with me? 1, 2, 3. Much better. Oh,
What?
you look so cute.
What even am I? Am I a porpoise?
Favorite thing.
Oh God, am I a unicorn?
Yeah.
No wonder I'm so horny.
And I'm ready to shoot some webs. Happy Halloween, everyone, and welcome back to the spooky part of the year. Now, we've done a few episodes like this where we tell horror stories you guys have sent in, and we're doing it again.
Because you like it so much. Is it spooky when a unicorn is evil?
No, I feel like it's...
Evil!
You put a costume on him and he just completely changes. Anyway, we have a forum. It's all anonymous. You guys sent them in. There's a link down below. We have over 300 stories of the horror variety, all to do with sex, gender, identities, or just terrible, terrible hookups. And I cannot wait to get going, Daddy. Do you want to get to the first story?
Yeah, they're horrible.
Okay, well, as long as you're only talking about yourself. Our first story comes from across the pond, and it starts, I'm Australian, so that's all you really need to know about where this is heading.
Really?
I think I need to know more.
Yeah, more words, please.
My ex and I enjoyed the very private time we could spend in a local forest because nothing said fun to us like getting it on in nature. Whilst I was busy on his face,
What was he busy doing on his face?
I happened to notice something peeking out of a small burrow hole in the forest floor. In a split second, a wolf spider comes rushing out towards us, very naked limbs. I jumped off of him screaming, fell backwards into some itchy weeds, and sported quite a few non-whippy bruises as a result. Most forests aren't a good idea during snake and spider season. Lol.
Okay, A, I didn't know there was a season for snakes and spiders. B, those spiders are huge in Australia.
Yeah, like
they're like
feet.
tarantulas.
I got long, thick legs, a tarantula.
Feet long though, like some of them. And I think that there's a season for every terrible creature in Australia. I think they just have, let us know Australians in the comments, they just have a lot of like, you know,
Problematic
questionable
creatures
things that exist out there.
Yeah.
Wait a sec, didn't you used to live in Australia?
I did.
Evil!
And did he just leave their partner just laying there to get attacked by the wolf spider?
It doesn't say, and while there are never any follow-up questions here, I hope that you're okay, you're at least okay enough to write this story on a Google form, so I think they're fine.
Okay.
This is fine.
And that's kind of the purpose and intent for a lot of these kinds of stories is we're telling scary stories, but hopefully learning in the process. What did you learn from this one, Daddy?
Don't have sex in Australia.
I mean, we've done that before and there were no wolf spiders, but we were also in a hotel room, so.
Yeah.
This next lesson, actually probably the spookiest just because of the context, is gonna be called Grave Diggers.
Grave diggers.
Once, we were having sex in a graveyard. Spooky, I guess. But the real horror story was when in the middle of her, my partner looked up and said, did you know your thumb is in my butt? Ooh.
Okay, A, who has sex in a graveyard?
B, I feel like that's kind of disrespectful to people that are buried there.
Oh.
Which is
Still, that's a little creepy.
Are you guys trying to start a zombie apocalypse? That's how it happens. That's how it happens.
Back to the finger and the thumb.
Okay. I mean, nobody likes a surprise thumb in your butt, right?
Sure.
Jan.
But was it really their thumb?
That's the real horror story.
Did someone wake up? It was like, shut up there!
When the zombies are, I want to come and be on your party family, He-Man. It was Skeletor. He was the one that was buried there.
Was that the end of the story?
That was the story.
Well, but what was the horror that their thumb was in their ass?
It was the wrong hole.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
There,
For me, I'm like, yeah, that's right.
some people don't like anal, Daddy, okay? So, this next lesson hopefully doesn't rub you the wrong way, and it says, I lost my virginity to the sand scene of Star Wars, and he stopped me writing him to watch a scene he had watched multiple times.
Wait, What's the sand scene?
Bum, 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 bum.
What is the sand scene?
Oh, I can show you.
I don't like sand. It's coarse and rough and irritating. And it gets everywhere. Not like here.
Don't have sex on the beach. I don't even remember this one.
Here everything is soft. And smooth.
Are you soft and smooth? I don't even remember that. Which one was that?
I think that was like episode 2 or 3 maybe. It's when Anakin's an adult and I know far too much about Star Wars. I do enjoy it. But also the little like that he does.
So wait, that was it? They had sex during the sand scene? That's the horror story?
It sounds like that guy was a real beach.
Yeah, I got that.
I hope that's not the sand
I
scene.
like you and your song.
You're not like sand, coarse. Well, actually, I mean, sometimes your beard's a little coarse, but you're not like Padme. So
Who's Padme?
it doesn't matter. Next story. This one goes, well, this one time I was with a man who had a Prince Albert piercing.
Ooh, no. I kind of know where this is going.
Where do you think this is going in 4 words?
Inserted tear.
You get 2 more words still.
No, I only needed those 2.
Okay. And it goes on, and we were having so much fun. Although, while I him off, he decided to really go in for it, and the worst thing imaginable happened. He got his piercing caught on my tooth and didn't realize it, and then pulled out hard. Oh, it's not done yet.
That's not going to be good for either party.
And his piercing ripped out as he fell to the floor in pain and ended up making it so we couldn't have the relationship we both wanted. It was not the best experience, and now I have horrified by the thought of ever a guy off with a piercing.
Okay, so A, don't suck anyone with a piercing because your dental work, A. People have gotten stuck in the throat with the piercings before. Take the piercings out.
Anyway, I personally just, Prince Alberts, I have nothing against them. I think they can look really hot on some people, but they just make me uncomfortable. Like, I don't want to put a piercing inside of my body that's not attached to me.
Yeah, no, it can go wrong very quickly.
And I've heard stories about teeth. I've heard stories about tears. I've heard stories about piercings now. And just be safe. Like, yes, it can increase your sexual pleasure if it's done right, but I've also heard stories where like piercings absolutely ruin your sexual pleasure, you know? And the healing process for that,
Yeah, especially on a PA. That is a long healing process.
that's its own horror story.
Uncomfortable, yeah.
I think this next one's gonna get a little hot. And it goes, every year on Halloween, I make a massive batch of super hot wings for me and my friends.
Is this the Hot Wings show?
It's not Hot Ones, I don't think. It doesn't say, at least I don't think it's Sean Evans. Sean Evans, is Sean Evans, he's a fan.
That's what they should add to that show is you're getting while you're eating hot wings. That would distract you from the burning sensations in your mouth.
Anyway, one year we made them with a 3 million Scoville hot sauce, and my partner and Metamore had leftovers for lunch. A bit later, my partner and I got into some fun shenanigans, and he started me, then while touching himself. Suddenly, we were both in horrific pain, and it turned out my partner hadn't washed their hands after lunch, which, for the record, let's remember they just had 3 million Scoville. Oh my God. We both ended up having a very sad shared shower and lots of ice packs after.
Yeah, I've heard this story in different variations of like cutting peppers or make sure you wash your hands. It's very, very important.
And make sure you wash it with like the Dawn dish soap, because some soaps don't get rid of those spicy oils on your hands very easily. If it's a pepper, if it's hot sauce, if it's like even the like little seeds from some peppers can be really, really spicy. But oh my God, Sean Evans, stop making spicy hot sauces.
Why do they even make them that hot?
Who needs it that spicy?
Yeah, I mean, how much do they possibly sell? Because you only would use a drop.
Well, it is the last dab. Can you do a unicorn dab for me? Ah! Just don't do it 3 times, because then the world explodes. This might not be the show with the hottest questions and even spicier answers, but we do have a pretty hot sponsor today in the form of Helix Sleep. And whether you're getting into spooky season or you're just not feeling so good, Mr. Stark, because you need to take a nap, you can do that with today's sponsor, Helix, who knows that everyone sleeps a little bit different. Whether they're in a onesie or a one piece, And they know that because of Helix Sleep Sleep Quiz. So, whether you're doing it by yourself or with yourself and a partner, Helix Sleep has the Helix Sleep Quiz, where you can tell them your name, your age, your height, your weight, as well as your preferred sleeping positions. We generally prefer side or back, and your firmnesses. And I'm more of a medium, while Daddy's kind of firm.
I like it super hard.
Oh. And maybe you were destroyed by COVID entirely and you just have aches and pains in the morning. You can even let them know about that. Anyway, all that to say, we ended up taking the quiz and we got the what, Daddy?
Dusk Lux.
Which we have had for over 3 years now, both of us independently, our own mattresses. And Daddy, how are you sleeping?
Like a rock.
But they also are getting awards for the best mattresses for sex. And with a hybrid combination of foam and springs, they ship right to your door, quick and easy, as well as free in the US.
Some scissors or...
Oh my God!
Do not try this at home.
And then they make this patented Daddy sound that sounds like...
Nay, psh, nay, psh, nay, psh, nay, psh, nay.
I'm gonna take you to the glue factory if you're not careful.
Oh.
Unlike other brands, Helix mattresses do not contain fiberglass, which can be harmful to your health. The best part though is that Helix Sleep delivers directly to your door with free shipping in the US, comes rolled up in a box, and they even give you a 100-night sleep trial. Over 3 months you get to try it for free, a 10-year warranty, and financing options and flexible payment plans. And while you can keep an eye out for some tricks and treats in the form of flash sales this October, Helix has also introduced their newest high-end collection, the Helix Elite, where they've put years of extensive mattress expertise to create a truly elevated sleep experience, including 6 different mattress models to combine high-end luxury with personalized comfort tailored to your preferences. And whether you're sleeping by yourself or with some neighbors, check out Helix Sleep with the link down below, helixsleep.com/watt, and you too can get 20% off your own mattress and 2 free pillows on us.
Woohoo! I mean,
where-
nay!
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Do unicorns even neigh?
I don't know, you're the unicorn. There you go. That's what happens when you...
They just motorboat.
that's what the 2 pillows are for. Next horror story. Ooh, I like when people give little like story name, like so there's a title for this story.
Okay.
And the title for this story is The Curse of the Pride Orgy. This happened at Pride 2017, and it was with my husband. I have had 4 or 5 ways with friends, and every year there has been some form of drama or thing going south, which happens in, I mean, anytime you get more than 2 people, someone's gonna feel left out, or it's not gonna go the right way. Not a horror story yet, but let's figure out what the curse is all about. Sometimes we all have a little bit of whiskey, and once we had to text about a friend having an issue that really killed the mood. And then another time, a couple that was hosting got into a serious drunken marital spat. So most times it just kills the pride energy afterwards because we're just too exhausted to do anything for days afterwards. It seems every year we are doomed to failure if we have sex during a pride event, with the spirits of debauchery plotted against us.
Yeah, so that's actually kind of common because when you are like event weekends, right?
Yeah.
Everyone comes to town. Everyone wants to have sex. Nobody does.
Everyone has
because
drama.
you're meeting people for dinner. You're going to this dance party. You're doing this social event.
Bus, club, another club, plane.
Rarely do I have sex during events.
We just had Folsom. How much sex did you have?
A lot.
Okay.
But
Now this one's a story, so strap in and strap on, and we're just gonna call this pornographic produce.
Okay. Eggplant.
Well, hope not, you're allergic. So, me and my partner once got experimental with vegetables and rope. Basically tied me up and forked me with a carrot. Thank you for censoring that. Not a horror story so far. However, I went to see Darren Brown, the mentalist. I'm not sure how well known he is in the USA, and I went with my dad. And so Darren, he has this audience trick where he gets the whole audience to write down their deepest, darkest secret. He then picked one out of a hat at random and slowly worked out which audience member the secret belonged to. Of course, the one that got chosen was mine. And so the dirtiest thing I had ever done in the bedroom got revealed to my dad and 1,800 other people, as well as one of my heroes and the whole production crew.
Well, why did you write that down?
I
Don't write that down.
I know.
There's a chance they're gonna call it.
Anyway, if that wasn't bad enough, me and my dad went to see him again a few months later. Okay, now you're just asking for it.
And what was your dad's deepest, darkest fantasy?
We don't get that one,
Okay.
unfortunately. When we met him at the stage door, my dad, being my dad, made a passing comment about it, so I elbowed him in the ribs. Darren asked why I did this, and so we told him the whole story. It just so happened that once every tour they record a show for production purposes, and that this show was the one they recorded for that tour. So now it wasn't just the people that were there, it was everybody.
Okay, so this is kind of on them. You kind of had to half be okay.
Yeah, well, and be aware that, like, of course, production's probably gonna go through and, like, pick out the best ones, too. But also, to the beginning of it, which wasn't a horror story either, I've heard lots of people that use vegetables and other things. Just make sure if you're gonna use vegetables or other producey things, like, you cover it up with a condom or something. Things that are high in acid, if it's gonna be a vegetable, are not good to put in your body. It changes the pH level, you can get STIs pretty easily. So just be conscious, be careful, and don't share your secrets to the mentalist, especially when your dad's in the room.
Mine would have been frozen bananas, but don't tell anyone.
Oh yeah, that definitely won't broadcast it to more people than probably
The Mentalist.
Yeah, so definitely don't show this video to other friends and share it during the spooky season. Actually, I have a scary story. So back in my day, when I would be like go-go dancing and, you know, being active in the bar scene and definitely having some fun, but not driving home because that's not safe. Like I stayed at a sexy friend's place, and I go-go danced the night before and definitely had a lot of fun. So I had parked my car the night before, obviously, in the city that we were at. And the next day, I just had so much fun that I woke up and I couldn't remember where I parked my car. So, me in my like booty shorts, because I didn't bring any change of clothes, leaving his place, I'm literally walking around the entire like blocks and blocks around the bar.
Doing the walk of shame looking for your
Because
car.
it was a city and it was impossible to find parking in Seattle. I eventually did find it, but it was a real horror story because I looked like, you know, I had just gotten paid
whore?
for sex.
Is that why
And I
it's
was
a horror
walking all
story?
around the city of Seattle and Capitol Hill. And it took far too long, but I did eventually get home just fine, had some Advil and a lot of water. Drink responsibly. Next story. This next one is, you ever had parents walk in on you?
Hey, we've had a couple of these horror
Yeah.
stories, so...
This next one involves that.
Okay.
And it goes, so my mother-in-law always fixed our cupboards and closets with us clueless gay boys because she said we had them set up all wrong. Okay, Mom. So, once they showed up on such short notice one late afternoon, and my mother-in-law took their bags up to the spare room and then came back down. We had a nice visit and great supper, but after having coffee, my mother-in-law announced that she and her father-in-law were going to stay at a hotel. It was a surprise to me and my hubby, but she was incredibly firm. And after they left, we went back upstairs and looked into the spare room, and we had totally forgot that we hadn't cleaned up after the last place section. Picture it now, sling over the bed, half dozen lube-covered and butt fisting gloves on the floor, and an assorted bondage gear scattered around the room.
How did you forget about that?
The in-laws still visit, but never stay overnight, and our cupboard closets go unfixed to this day. Oh, well...
Actually, I do have a horror story, kind of that in that vein. Me and my ex, when we were home from Australia, we stayed at a girlfriend's house, and she was away, and we had put in a VCR porn tape of ourselves while we were having sex on their bed, and we forgot to take the tape out when we left, so she came out and saw a porn of us having sex.
Oh.
On her TV. It was not a pleasant conversation.
My spider senses are tingling that it was uncomfortable.
It was very uncomfortable.
Oh.
It was awkward and weird, and I don't think we ever stayed with her again.
I have nothing wrong with moms-in-laws getting personal and friendly, but I still think that there's a level of like, yes, you can have fun, silly, sex-positive conversations, but you don't need to, if you see each other, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Poor pony.
I actually feel sorry for our friend who had to watch our sex life.
That'll teach you to clean up after yourself, especially if you have a spare room. Don't hide the stuff in the spare room.
Well, and if you're gonna have people staying, don't you put clean sheets on the bed and stuff?
Well, they said short notice. And remember that one time we were having sex at my old apartment and my parents just showed up on their Harley?
Oh, yes, and I hid in the closet. You made me go back in the closet.
I mean, you needed a reality check, let's be honest. Next story. We met back in college where he picked me up in his car and we drove to a cruising spot up on an uphill trail. Oh, cruising. Back in the day.
Back in my day,
Remember cruising?
I remember parking. I remember cruising the parks in your car and then parking and making out with someone.
Oh, okay.
So this story resonates.
Well, it goes on to say, actually, the hookup is really good, but when I was him across the console, I felt the car start to move a bit.
Oh no.
I guess my arm knocked it back into reverse.
Put it in reverse, Harry. Put it in reverse. Oh, Lord.
So we started going down the hill in reverse. We both noticed eventually, but he had panicked and accidentally elbowed me in the shin. We ended up finishing in the back seat, but yeah, it almost went completely downhill, literally.
Yeah, what if you were like on a cliff or something? That would have been a problem.
Oh my God.
Is there a second part of the story or is this just a cliffhanger?
It just, yeah, this story definitely went downhill. Oh, Mom, I got in a car crash. How did it happen? I was giving someone a when we went down a hill.
See, but the cruising areas were back in the day when cars were built for having sex in them. They had long bench seats in the front. Now you can't have sex in cars.
They also had horses that pulled the buggy, so.
Oh, wow.
Sorry, are you not horny anymore after that joke? Oh. Do you think they must have had cruising spots back in the colonial times or like back in the day when they had like horse buggy carriages?
I can imagine, yeah.
What do you think they called it instead of a cruising spot?
Buggy spot?
Buggy spot.
Which actually isn't as
That has a negative
sexy
connotation,
as
actually.
yeah.
We'll keep working on that.
Okay.
Next story. This next one says, I met a dom once for our first weekend session at a hotel. All on the up and up and very classy. And we met for dinner, where he Karen'd the poor wait staff the whole time, even leaving a note on how they can improve. You can really tell who somebody is by the way they treat service workers, and after that discussion, I did not choose to continue with the dom after that weekend. Oh.
Wait. After that weekend, you still had sex, though. Then after the weekend, you dumped them.
Oh, see, but like, if the dick was good and you knew it was gonna be good, would you still have sex with them and then ghost?
I would never ghost, for one, because
See?
I don't believe in ghosting. But,
What do you believe in? It's the spooky season. How do you get rid of someone? You're Frankenstein?
I just think ghosting's rude.
That's-
Would I? Maybe. I would power through, because I wouldn't want to tell them no to their face the first date.
Well, you also have sex on the first date, so I would.
Who doesn't?
I wouldn't be attracted to the person anymore. I'm very much, as someone who's never worked in service work in that regard. I mean, I've done some service. I wouldn't be able to continue. I would probably be like, oh, I'm not feeling so good, Mr. Stark, and then I'd have to leave.
I don't feel so good.
But to leave a note on how they can improve, that's not only rude, that's just so gross.
Yeah, you're not really helping anyone, truthfully.
No,
I mean, you're not there as their advisor. If you don't like the service, just don't come back.
And just because you want to be an asshole doesn't mean you get my asshole, you know?
Sure.
That's my motto.
I was actually a waiter in college, and I've never had anyone complain about my service.
To your face. But did you ever have any terrible experiences with customers that were really flippant and rude like this?
No, but once I accidentally dumped a ramekin full of blue cheese into a woman's purse, and she didn't notice it because it was on the floor next to her and it fell off my tray, and I didn't tell her. So she would have had every right, because I could imagine her going out to her car after that and putting her hand in for her keys and pulling out blue cheese.
Oh no! Are you sure it was blue cheese?
I was a busboy. I was 19 years old. I didn't know how to handle it. I mean, was that story cheesy?
Next story. The next one goes, it was my first time being with a man and I was so nervous, but he was so sweet and gentle that I had an amazing time. Oh, but this...
Oh, that's a great story.
Sounds
I
like-
love that.
yeah,
I thought they were supposed to be horror stories.
Anyway, it was also the first time I ever spent the night. It was early and he told me that he lived alone, so imagine my reaction when there was a knock at the bedroom door the next day. It was his mother. She lived next door, and when she walked in and found us on the bed together, all she said was, "Aw, I'm sorry to interrupt, my darlings. I just wanted to invite you boys over for some breakfast. I made waffles."
That's lovely.
In the morning, I'm making waffles.
And he does live alone if she lived next door, so he didn't lie.
As if it wasn't weird enough, we got dressed and went next door. Not only did I have breakfast with the guy I just slept with for the first time, but his parents, while we ate, watched a version of Queer as Folk, and we were just awkward but oddly enjoyable.
Well, it sounds like they had very supportive parents. Why is that awkward? I would have leaned into it and said, oh, fantastic, free breakfast.
I mean, you got some waffles.
I would have been happy.
As long as they weren't blue waffles, we're probably fine.
I once was having sex with this Mormon guy who was terrified of being found out for being gay. And at like 2 a.m. he woke me up and said, my parents are just pulled up. You've got to hide in the closet. Again, I had to hide in the closet. What is going on?
But, were there waffles?
No, there are no waffles.
That guy. Oh my god, that's
Just
so
made
rude.
me go back in the
What
closet.
the heck?
I was like, okay, that's it. We're done. Bye.
You know what I just realized?
What?
You don't have any accessible closets in here.
Because I'm scared of closets. I'm always locked in
How does
closets.
that make you feel? Oh, poor daddy. Okay, no stables for you.
I'll stay in the stable, just not a closet.
What is a stable if not a closet for horses?
Stables don't have like. Jesus.
Wow, my appetite has been satiated. We had spicy wings. We had waffle stomping. We had eating out your partner.
Don't eat the waffle stompings.
Oh.
That's not good.
We had waffles. And we wouldn't have had any of these stories without you guys sharing your terrible experience that we turned into treats.
Comedy. Hopefully you're all into humiliation kink, because we just laughed at you.
No, we didn't. We laughed with you. And that's why I enjoy these episodes, because we get to have fun and talking about maybe something that was a negative, but turn it into a positive experience where we can kind of talk about and find those pitfalls within casual sex that might be the thumb up the wrong end, or remembering to wash your hands before and after sex.
Before you put the thumb up the wrong end.
Okay.
Yeah.
We still have that link down below if you want to leave any horror stories. It doesn't need to be during the Halloween season, but we do hope that you guys are having a happy Halloween. But whether you're tricking or treating, and if you're tricking, please trick responsibly, always have a safe word. And today's safe word, Daddy, is?
Boneyard.
That's not a good one, though, because what if I want to get boned in the yard?
Yeah, boneyard.
Leave your comments down below if you have any other spooky stories you'd like to share with the class, or do it in the document if you want us to eventually review it.
And if you like ringing bells, ring that bell and you might be notified of our next episode.
Regardless, though, leave a like, make sure you're subscribed, and happy Halloween! Ooh, bye! These aren't spirit fingers. These are spirit fingers. Ooh.
Mine are gay.
Turn us into ghosts.
I have gay spirit fingers.
Cindy, the TV's leaking!